Thank you to everyone involved for all of their hard work, creating a space that provides opportunities for underrepresented Black and Brown communities. One of my greatest passions is empowering and motivating the next generation to seek careers in cybersecurity and the tech industry. As people of color, we all face unique challenges on our journeys to finding success. I am here today to share mine with you. I was born in Charleston, South Carolina, and I have always loved computers and technology for as long as I could remember. As a kid, I would go to the library and spend hours using their computers because we didn't have one at home at that time. I recall waiting on the library to throw out old computer parts so I could grab them from the dumpster and take them home to try to build a computer. I had what some may call a troubled childhood. I was diagnosed with ADHD in the fourth grade. Teachers and family members told me I wouldn't amount to anything. For a point in time, I believed them. I eventually dropped out of high school in the ninth grade and worked in restaurants as a dishwasher until I was 17. While working in one of the restaurants, one of the guys who had been there for years told me I was doing a good job and that if I kept it up, I could one day be a head dishwasher like him. I have tremendous respect for anyone working in the service industry, but that just wasn't what I had planned for my life. I started to do some soul searching and returned to my love of computers. I enrolled in Job Corps, took up a trade in computer repair, and got my GED. I would go on from there to work for companies like Verizon, AT&T, and T, and Apple, but I still could not break through to create a career for myself. I had other tech jobs where I learned to troubleshoot credit card terminals, dental oral sensors, and the software that supported them. Even with my technical skills at that time, I still could not get to the next level. 9 years ago, I was making $14 an hour and unable to make ends meet. At this point in my life, I was in my mid 20s. I was enrolled in college to get an education in hopes of better employment opportunities. I was not the traditional college student. I had bills. I was fighting for my survival while working temp job to temp job, trying to find a way to break through. I hit a roadblock that started a bad chain reaction in my life. My car broke down. I ended up getting evicted from my apartment and having to move back home with my mom. I was at a low point in my adult life, but I used it as motivation. During the 3 months that I stayed at my mom's house, with the financial help of her and my sister, I got two IT certifications, CompTIA A Plus and Security Plus. I landed my first IT job, which helped start my career. Today, I am a principal security service engineering manager at Microsoft, 3 levels away from being a vice president. I have the pleasure of managing a team of cybersecurity incident responders, incident investigators, and security researchers. We protect Microsoft's products against some of the world's most challenging cybersecurity threats. Not once, but twice in my life, I faced incredible odds to get to where I am today. My story shows that it's never too late to pursue your dreams. I am a product of public housing, Section 8, and food stamps. Without government assistance, my mom would not have been able to make ends meet. So my journey to get here is different. Most of the time, my back was against a wall and failure was not an option because I know what it's like to be unemployed. I know what it's like to have your lights turned off, what it's like to wonder where your next meal is going to come from, and I know what it's like to work hard and still not be able to make ends meet. I go hard every day because I refuse to go back to that. Going hard means working hard or doing something with intensity. I go hard every day because I have a mother who has lupus. As a child, I saw her get up and go to work every day, sometimes not in the best of health, to a job where she wasn't paid well or valued, but she did it to provide a living for my siblings and me. I owe it to her to go hard every day. I firmly believe that our life stories are not entirely ours. There are testimonies to share with others in hopes that they find inspiration and see themselves in our stories. See our struggles as their struggles and see our wins as a possibility that they too can rise above the challenges they face in their own lives. I go hard because I know that there's another Rashaan Green somewhere that needs to see that, yes, I faced all of those challenges, but I made it on the other side. And because I made it, they can too. The tech industry has provided me with great opportunities. My first sign on bonus was higher than my salary for my first IT job. In the first 2 years since joining tech, I have doubled my salary. When you add in bonuses and add my stocks, nearly tripled it. I closed on my second home last week. This year, I am taking my entire immediate family on a Christmas vacation. These are all great things, but my greatest accomplishment to date is something that I prayed for when I was at one of the lowest points in my life, when my lights were turned off and I was in the dark. I prayed and asked God to bless me so that I could be a blessing to others. Last year, I saw that prayer come to fruition when I was able to start a scholarship at the university I graduated from with the help of my employer's matching program. I donated $10,000 of my own money and they matched it dollar for dollar. We were able to help 200 students who were at risk of dropping out due to financial aid remain in their degree programs. Since then, 14 of them have graduated. Success means nothing to me if you are not impacting the lives of others. As Black and Brown leaders in tech, we must make it our mission to help the next generation have opportunities that are far greater than we do today. We must ensure that their future is full of hope and light that shines brighter than any adversity that they will face could ever dim. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak, and thank you to everyone for taking the time out to listen. It has been my absolute pleasure to join you today. Everyone, thank you guys so much for hanging on with the live video. I apologize. I mean, with the recording, I apologize. I ended up recording it because I moved and I could not get internet installed at my house, and I did not trust the Wi-Fi at the location I'm at right now. So I apologize for that. But thank you guys for hanging in there with me. So my current role with my personal interests, my current role ended up being something that I never thought that I would be doing, or at least was interested in, if that makes any sense. I come from a background where it was information system security, focusing on, government work. And I still do some of the same stuff with Microsoft, but my current role is more so like 24/7, 365, and I used to be a 9 to 5 person. So that's a little interesting, but some of the stuff that I've gotten to see since I've been at Microsoft has been pretty interesting. I think my first week as a engineering manager and being on call happened to be the big SolarWinds debacle, and I ended up being the on-call manager for that particular situation. So that was something that I got to see. So it finds its way to align with my personal interests, and then your personal interest over your career changes. Let's see, the next one says, what programs do I suggest to get certifications? So believe it or not, a lot of local community colleges have certification programs. And I recommend going through that because a lot of, for example, if you're in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, I know Maryland allows people to do that for free through community colleges as well too. Also, Microsoft has a lot of certifications that we're either doing $100 or, depending on financial situations, we may be even offering it for free as well. Let's see, the next one is what helped me become a good storyteller in security. Honestly, I came home from work one day when I was working at one of my jobs, and I was graduating, and I just wrote my graduation story or my life story down and submitted it as a speaker, and I got accepted to do that. And then I was just kind of nervous about it, but I've kind of just progressed. I took speaking classes and found ways to do that. I mean, I suggested everybody that plans on going into leadership, any parts of leadership, to take some type of speaking classes because it will help you in your public speaking. Let's see, I'm in my current first help desk position and now taking RMF class, one entry level positions for if you're going into the RMF realm. I would say ISO is a good entry level. That's how I started out. I was an information system security officer. And I want to follow up with your question as well too now is, when you say entry level positions, do you have a because it depends on whether you have a security clearance or not as well too. So if you have a security clearance, I think an ISO role would be great. To a great transition from help desk. That's actually how I started. I started out on the help desk and then went over to the ISO role as well. Let's see, 3 to 5 things they said once. Certifications. So it depends on where you want to go at. If you are, hey, I want to, because a lot of things now are in the cloud. Um, and so I don't know that I would necessarily say that, hey, you need to learn A plus. I would say A plus is if you want to take a product computer and put it back together, and that's not going to, be relevant into the cloud. You're not taking the product computer and putting it back together in the cloud. So what I would say is I would start with Security Plus. That will give you the basics of cybersecurity, and then from there, I would start to branch out my career, and looking at it and say, hey, if I and I somebody mentioned it as well too that they started the help desk. The help desk is a good place to start out as well too because that's where I started out. So I filtered all of those tickets. I was able to see which part of cybersecurity I wanted to go in from there, from just talking to some of the end users that would put in tickets. But Security Plus, Certified Ethical Hacker is a good one as well too. If you decide that you want to go like a pen test route, Pen Test Plus is another one. And as far as cloud certifications, AWS, Azure certifications are good ones as well too. CYSA Plus as well is a good one as well. After my first position, so I came into my first position, which was the help desk. I had Security Plus and A Plus, and then after that, I got CYSA, and I got CISM, and then I got CISP after that as well too. And let's say my average workday, it is unpredictable. Some days I can come in and then there is a situation already happening or a situation that we're already managing. So what I do on an average day is I am the engineering manager for M365 Global. So I support that as well worldwide. And then for Microsoft M365 GovCloud, I'm also the engineering manager as well. I do not work remotely, unfortunately. I have the opportunity to do it, whenever I want to, but because of my role, I have to sit inside a classified space sometimes and deal with classified incidents. In regards to getting security clearance, I would suggest that if you have a degree, certifications, look into staffing agencies. That's how I got my start, staffing agency, Apex Systems to be exact. But you have Apex, you have Mantech, you have Insight Global. Sometimes they will actually take somebody that has a certification and say, hey, a background in cybersecurity, or even somebody that's brand new, because technically I was brand new. I just had a lot of like tier 1 tech support experience prior to getting that cleared help desk role. So more marketable. Again, getting experience is one of those. Certifications are great, degrees are great as well too, but you can do a lot of stuff without having a degree as well. I suggest a lot of people, if you don't have degrees and you have a lot of certifications, look into getting a degree. Look into programs like WGU, where I graduated from. They have a great program where your certifications count as credits towards your degree. I have a friend who had I think 12 of the certifications that they offered and ended up graduating in like a year and a half with his bachelor's. So, there's other programs out there as well too. Sarah, send me a message on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is on my profile. Definitely can try to give you some advice as much as possible. Let's see. Congratulations on going to WGU in January. It's a great university. You can go at your own pace. I would probably not be a college graduate without that. And I'm not saying that just because I went there or anything like that. Star, I apologize. I'm going to answer your question right now. So if you're a security analyst now, Star, I would like to know more individually about your situation as well too. So if you can add me on LinkedIn as well too, or send me a message, and then we can go more in depth into it. Stepping into tech entry level, like help desk enough. Yeah, I would say help desk is the best place. To start, and the reason why I say that is just because you get a chance to have every type of ticket that ever could cross your desk, and you have a way to shadow if your company offers that as well, to shadow other teams, and work on another team to try to figure out exactly whether that's something that you want to do. Um, let's see, you have a degree in finance. Um, no, it wouldn't be longer. Fintech is another area that I'm seeing that is, growing up and really becoming something big in cybersecurity. So what I would suggest, if you're someone that's interested in going into cybersecurity from fintech, and if you work at a fintech company right now? If not, try to get a job at a fintech company, and if you don't have any cybersecurity certifications, try to get them. Obviously, if you work at a company that pays for that stuff, try to get them to pay for it. But if not, there's different programs or different ways that you can get it as well too. We could talk more about that as well. All you guys are free to add me on LinkedIn. I will try to answer every question as much as possible, at least. But definitely feel free to add me on LinkedIn, and I can try to help wherever I can. All right, let's see. What advice would you give to non-security roles? One of the white advice that I would give to people that are like software engineer, SREs, or just cloud engineers in general, I would say that shadow, if you have the opportunity, shadow with your teams locally, especially if you're not like interested in like having an actual career in the security side of cybersecurity. You're just in, you're in the engineering side of the house, So I would suggest that shadow where possible. A lot of teams, especially on the security side, we would love to have the engineers come sit in our SREs come sit in our meetings if possible. We have no problem letting people shadow. So I don't know if that's the same way at every company, but also another thing too as well. If you're not interested in a certification, you can still learn about those certifications and learn about the security side of it as well too. Pivoting to GRC in cybersecurity space. Any insider suggestions? Depends on where you work. I would also try to say if there's any shadowing opportunities as well too. You could also get familiar with the teams and where you work at, and then if you don't work someplace that allows that or has those opportunities, one of the other ways that you can do that is to start, getting some certifications and trying to find an entry level position. And as far as the entry level roles, if you're trying to go into GRC, I would say, government roles are usually good. Good entry level roles. I mean, the pay is not great, but you could definitely take it and learn. I mean, here's the thing, right? Getting into cybersecurity, if you take a role and you're doing it for 1 or 2 years, it's not going to be the worst thing that'll happen. You'll be in a better place after that 1 or 2 years. You'll probably be able to apply and do something completely different after that. Um, and again, Norma, you're free to add me on LinkedIn. We can talk more about it as well too. Where do I see myself in 10 years? 10 years, I would like to be a vice president or corporate vice president at a major tech company, running the security division. Let's see, books on career development. I actually have some in my car, and I can't think of them I moved, so just blame it on the move at the moment, at least. Um, where do you see innovation taking off? And then AI is becoming a big thing. I don't know if you guys just read Microsoft put a lot of money into our stock is actually up just because of the AI. But AI is also going to be another field as well that I'm going to see that is going to take off in the next few years as well too. A lot of places are going to try to find innovative ways to do that. Feel free to add me on LinkedIn. I can help wherever I can. If I can't fully commit to being a mentor, I can try to find you someone that is available. But feel free to add me on LinkedIn. Career advocacy. One of the biggest things that I will tell you is company loyalty is not great. I would always say have loyalty towards your career. Um, always be focused on, making sure that you are okay, you're happy, and if you're at a place where you feel like your career stands still, hold your leadership accountable. And if they are not making the concessions or the things that you want to be done, then vote with your feet. You owe no loyalty to any company at all. And I see that we have some more people here. So for people that didn't see the fill video, I will add the link of the fill video to this chat as well too. And I'm going to add my LinkedIn profile as well too. If it's not in my profile for whatever reason, you guys are definitely free to reach out to me whenever you guys would like to. Give me just a moment here. I'm going to get my LinkedIn for you guys. So, and if some people can put in the chat as well too, are some of you guys in cybersecurity now, or some of you guys college students? Where are some of you guys at? One of the most challenging projects that I've encountered, SolarWinds. I'm not even going to lie to you. That was a very challenging situation. Uh, one point in time, I actually got a call from the UK Prime Minister's office, and this all happened on my first sort of my first week actually doing the actual job. I was already here for like 3 months, but this is my first weekend after being on call. I mean, on call training. That was my first thing out of on call with SolarWinds. So that was very challenging. Probably it actually was one of the points where I was like, yeah, I don't know if this is a good decision coming to this company and having to deal with this right now, because it was just literally that stressful. And it was something that lasted a couple of months. I think it started sometime around October, November, and we were working on that from then until February, actually. So yeah, it was definitely one of those things that I would say that was probably very challenging. Something that you question whether you made the right decision or not. Self advocacy. No, I think self advocacy still is always going to be something that is always going to be necessary inside your career. Because even as a leader in tech, or even just in general as a black man, I'm still going to have to advocate for myself, because sometimes people tend to forget that we are there, if that makes any sense, even, or they think that we may be happy at the level that we're at, or what we may be doing. So you still are going to have to advocate for yourself. And again, hold your leadership accountable. And if they are not making the moves that you want them to make, feel free to vote with your feet. The good thing about the tech industry is that the tech industry is wide open. There's more cybersecurity jobs than people. Um, and that's one of the things that you should definitely use to your advantage. And I know we're coming close to time soon. One of the things that I wanted to say to you guys is this: when you do get into your cybersecurity roles, never say no to learning. And the reason why I say that is because when I was at the help desk, Um, One of the things that they wanted me to do was to be a VMware SME. And I'm telling my age at this point now because that's about 10 years ago now. But they wanted me to be a VMware SME. There was no AWS at that time, no Azure at that time, just VMware and some small solutions that other companies were building at that time. They asked me to do it. I didn't want to do it, but they sent me to VMware, and VMware in Virginia. I think their office was located somewhere in like Arlington or something, or Crystal City area. And I went there for training for a week. So long story short, that stuff that I learned there, it still applies to what I learned at. It still applies to some of the stuff that I do at Microsoft because that's how I was able to come in and know some of the stuff about Azure just based upon the training that I had with VMware back in the day. So you'll never say no to anything. My first real cybersecurity job as an information system security officer, they wanted me to be a jack of all trades. They wanted me to be SIPRNet. And just so you guys know as well, SIPRNet is a government network, but they wanted me to learn that. I learned that. They also wanted me to be the ComSec person for one of it. So long story short, all of that stuff came back into play, and it all matters at the end of the day because it puts you in a position where you have more skills and you're more marketable. So do not say no to anything when it comes down to learning something new. Let's see, biggest challenge I faced in my career, challenges I face. You know, I think, as you know, an African American, one of the things that I would say, especially an African American man, one of the things you continue to face is you still have to be 2 or 3 times better than your counterparts. So that is an ongoing challenge, that I still continuously, I think, probably will face throughout my whole entire career. Um, you will get into positions sometimes, and you'll see that, hey, I have to, I'm better than this, or I'm better than my counterpart, or I'm doing this better, or I do this. I've been in positions where I've managed larger teams than my peers, and I've seen my peers also been promoted as well. And, I look at it like, oh, okay, so I'm still acting as, I'm still doing more, if that makes any sense. And sometimes you still don't get noticed. And that's something that you challenge. But again, I come back to, that's one of the things that you will face. But my mom always taught me that, you have to navigate through the negativity. And of course, if you walked in a situation continues to be negative, then you have to put with your feet, and that's my biggest thing there. But you have to learn how to navigate through those situations. One of the best things I can recommend as well too is when you do start getting in these positions, get an executive coach, or a mentor, get someone that has the experience, that has been at these companies for a while, and they can say, hey, this is how I would navigate through that. This is how, and these people, need to be at a role that's higher than yours because they can actually advocate for you as well too. And that's important. It's having somebody there to be the voice for you inside rooms that you are not able to get into yet. So that's important as well too. How do you disconnect when you're not on call and outside of the office? Actually, so Teams is a big thing at Microsoft. Everybody has it on their phones. And when I go on vacation, I actually delete the app. When I'm not on call, I put turn all of my notifications off. And the reason why I delete it when I'm on vacation is just I don't have the urge to go inside the app and see what's going on. And taking vacation, is a very important thing, because sometimes we're going to get into these roles and we're going to say, okay, well, I'm here, I'm trying to work hard, I'm trying to get this and that done. Take your vacation because your counterparts are going to take their vacation. So you need to take yours as well. All right, guys, I got like 4 minutes left and then I have to drop because I have to go in the classified space for a customer site. So I'm going to try to answer a few more. What's the interview process like for the apprenticeship? No, believe it or not, the internship, the interview process, especially like at Microsoft, I've interviewed at like Microsoft, AWS, Google, all those places there. One of the things that I always recommend people is doing mock interviews. There's companies that do mock interviews for tech companies. Do those. And the reason why I say that is because they're going to teach you a skill that you're going to be able to turn your interviews into conversations. So, prime example, my interviews with Microsoft when I got this role were all conversations. They're us getting to know each other. And that's the key to when your interview turns from them asking you questions to you guys just having a regular conversation. That's when you know that you've succeeded in that interview process. Because ideally, as a hiring manager, one of the things that I'm looking forward to seeing is, one, is this person someone that is going to be a good fit for the team? Two, are they a good fit for the company? All right, thank you guys so much. It's definitely been an honor. This is probably like one of the things that I get probably the most joy out of my career is speaking to young and fresh talent that wants to get into cybersecurity, because you guys are definitely the future. I wish you guys all the best of luck in your career. If you guys need any help, any career guidance, definitely feel free to reach out to me. I am going to go ahead and exit so I can go ahead and make it to the classified space. But you guys have a great rest of your day in the sessions and enjoy the rest of the summit.